how do you have sex if you're a shy person or awkward? This is Hunter Riley, from manager of Self-Serve Toys, and Hunter Riley at sexeducation.com. I'll get it right.
I know, you're good. You've gotten it right every single time.
Mady Fricker, owner of Self-Serve Toys at selfservetoys.com. And I'm Kathy Bartoli of TheIntimacyDojo.com. And sex is awkward anyway. It's hard for even the most outgoing person sometimes to initiate or handle. But if you're shy and awkward, sometimes it seems like it'd be easier not to do it at all.
Right.
So how do you handle, like, what would you recommend?
So if I'm feeling a little bit shy or awkward, and it oftentimes happens with new sexual partners, is I'll think to myself, like, okay, would I feel more comfortable, because again, I like to give myself options, because then it helps me feel like I'm not cornered. I like to think, okay, would I feel more comfortable being on the receiving end or being on the giving end of something? And then I kind of check in with my partners and say, hey, like, where are you at right now? And I oftentimes will start with non-sexual things like massage, because that helps center me in my body. And then oftentimes you might end up taking off some clothes to get a massage, and then maybe you're all just hanging out naked, right? And then you can kind of navigate it. I'm very awkward in negotiation, like, all the time, and I will start talking really fast, and then I'll say, okay, I'm feeling awkward, and then I'll keep going. But oftentimes just sort of breaking it down into, like, would it be easier or more enjoyable for me to receive or give right now? And then checking in with my partner. And then if there's some overlap there, then and if they're like, I'm kind of feeling like in a giving mood, and I'm like, well, that's good, because I'm in a receiving mood, and so for me, that kind of helps just to lay out some options of, here's some things we could try, and it can be, let's hold hands, let's snuggle, or it could be like, yes, let's get that dildo and, do some double penetration. Again, I'm with that. But yeah, so it's, for me, it's laying out options that helps me feel a little bit more comfortable, and helps me feel like I can say no to stuff, which of course I always know that I can, but sometimes it feels hard to really embrace that and embody that. So for me, giving options to myself and to my partners helps me if I'm feeling a little bit awkward.
Yeah, love it. Thank you.
Yeah, and sex for me is almost always awkward.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's like super hot and amazing and incredible, and then something weird happens, because bodies are weird, and our bodies make weird sounds, or my body makes a weird sound, and I have to, like, be okay, or, like, the strap on, like, went the wrong direction, and we have to, like, renegotiate. And so I think just making room for that from the beginning is really important, like checking in a lot about safe words, checking in a lot about, like, that it's okay to pause. I personally have a history of sexual assault and trauma, so I will sometimes trigger, and so when I get into bed with somebody new, that used to be really terrifying for me, that oh my God, what if I trigger? What if that happens? And so I'd be more and more awkward because that was going to happen, and how would I handle it? Right. And so what I've actually started doing when I get into bed with new people is say, like, hey, just so you know, sometimes I trigger, this is what it looks like. If that happens, this is what I need. Yeah. And that conversation, honestly, is like rocked my world so many times.
It's powerful, and it gives the other person permission to pause things too.
Yeah, and then they go, oh my God, me too, or that's happened to me before, or that happened to another partner, thank you for bringing that up. And so then everything feels so much safer, and less awkward for me, because I'm not holding this big secret that might come out, that I might not be able to control, that might happen. And so that has been really helpful for me as well. But that also embracing the awkward and being, like, really giggly and weird about it, and taking a break, and some of my best sex has been, like, after a total breakdown and, like, a sandwich, and like, what would feel good right now is my favorite question, because there's no wrong answer. So what would feel good right now might be more sex, or might be a little left on my clitoris, or it might be like, actually I'm really spun out right now, so I need a break. And that has really helped the awkward moments. It's that moving through that question of, like, what would feel good, because it's also like a body-based question. And sometimes when we're feeling awkward, it's hard to be in our bodies. It's hard for me to be in my body. And so having that as, like, an open-ended, honest question really helps me move through the awkward.
I love that. I like to invite people to, sometimes we're in sex, it's like we want to please, or get in that pleasing mode, or we're not, like you said, not really in our heads or in our bodies. I like to invite people to write things out. Like, okay, we're going to get together for date night tonight. We haven't been trying some things. How about we each write down the thing we most like to do, and we're going to read it to each other. And that's hot. And we don't have to do it, but we're just going to share some things that we've always wanted to try. Because in the moment, it's really easy to get in routine and not break out. And just reading stuff, it's like, oh no, I don't ever want to do that, but that reminds me of this other thing. Would you be interested in that? And it's just the vulnerability of sharing of it. And I think because you're not actually in the moment of having sex, sometimes the people are less verbal. It's a lot easier to share that in an articulate way or semi-articulate way.
That is such a great idea. Or you could even text ideas.
Sexting.
Or something. Yeah, exactly. I love that idea. That's great.
I know you're in a meeting, but I just thought of this thing.
Yeah.
I had two recent partners who had done new things with me that they hadn't said at the time were new.
Yeah.
I had them make a list of everything we had done together that was new to them, so that I would know, like, oh my gosh, we did this new thing, and I wanted to hold it for them. Yeah, and it was really exciting, and it also like gave me context about like what new looked like for them. Because I think sometimes when we do new things, we want to like play it cool, and I don't want that at all.
Yeah.
Like I want to know, I want it to be new.
It's exciting to be like, oh, how does it feel? Like, what do you notice when you're doing this?
And then they sent another list of all the new things they wanted to try, which then gave us a menu, and that can be fun too.
Yep.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
So let us know what you do. If you feel shy and awkward, how do you handle sex?
Awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations on taking this time for yourself and learning these things. If you'd like to follow more of this, you can subscribe to my channel here. Social media is up here, and there's more videos of this type here. See you soon.